Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader,
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page.
where it's never just one more page.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello. Oh, also, first off, I just want to say two things before we start this podcast episode. One,
Okay.
I do apologize if you hear my AC because it is so hot here where we're living. I get out of work, I step outside, and I go, ugh, I immediately it's too hot. Like, it is too hot. And then secondly, I accidentally broke my mic. So I'm using my backup mic. So I do apologize if there is a sound difference from me. But I'm not going to talk about that because that was a chaotic mess and I wanted to cry afterwards. But another exciting news, it's my birthday.
Yay.
I guess when this episode gets posted is already
it'll be right after your birthday.
Yeah, right after my birthday, which I'm very excited about. I'm currently making, well, right now I'm making my sister's cake because, fun fact, my little sister couldn't just let me have anything in my life. She had to be born a day before or 2 days before me. So I'm making her cake currently. Where she's having a s'mores cake with graham cracker cake, chocolate ganache. I'm taking chocolate ganache with graham crackers, sprinkling it in, and then ice cream because she wants an ice cream cake, and then chocolate whipped cream on the outside, and then I'm making homemade marshmallows to go on top. And then, of course, I can't not make my cake, Sam. I just can't do that. I can't give up the control to someone else. So I'm making a lemon chiffon cake with whipped cream and strawberries, which is gonna be so yummy. And then, of course, I'm gonna go book shopping. I may black out book shopping, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm super excited about it. But how's your week going, Sam?
I mean, it's only Tuesday, but I've been productive. I actually got your birthday gift sent out, so that'll be there. The guy said it would be there by Thursday, and then I looked at the shipping sheet that they give you. This is expected delivery date, and it said it'll be there by tomorrow. So you'll have it probably tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's a happy birthmas gift because your Christmas gifts are in there too.
Okay. Is it wrapped in Christmas?
Yes.
Wrapped in here? Okay, that's how I'll know. I'll know.
Yeah, I wrapped your Christmas because I actually have Christmas wrapping paper still in my closet.
Okay.
And then your birthday gifts are wrapped in different. You'll see it. You'll figure it out. So that's all sent out. My kid low key said his first swear word today, so that was fun.
What's her word?
He
is it what? Which one? We can beep it out.
It's fine. It's not even one of the of the ones you could have said. It wasn't a bad one.
Is it crap?
No, he said shit.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad.
And my husband's we've never said that directly to him. We don't have to because when we stub our toe or when we drop something or when we forgot something or whatever, the first words out of our mouth are "oh shit" or "oh shit" or whatever. That's always what we say. Yeah. And he was legitimately hanging with feet off the floor from the dining room table. And then he just looks at us and goes, shit. We both look at each other and go, oh, no. And this happened a half an hour ago while we were eating dinner. I'm just
God.
No.
Well, that's why they said you always have to be careful what you say around kids because you never know what they're picking up.
And as the day this podcast posts will be the last day at my current job, and I'll be ready to move on to my next one.
Ooh, exciting!
I'm very excited.
Meanwhile, I took off a week and a half. Well, more than almost 2 weeks off from my work, and my coworkers are like, "What are you doing? You gonna go anywheres?" Well, I'm gonna go see my sister towards the end of the week, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna lay in bed. And I'm gonna read. That's all I'm gonna do. I want to talk to no one. I just want to read my books. And one of my coworkers, she's off the same week as me, and she's like, "Oh, we can because I told her if you want to go get breakfast in the morning, we can totally do that." And she's like, "Oh, well, we can go and hang out at my pool and do this and this." I'm like, I just said breakfast, ma'am. I just said breakfast. I have my whole day is actually booked up with books.
Right? Just hanging out and books. And then you said what? K-dramas?
Yep. I want to watch some K-dramas. There's also another drama that I really want to watch, which I forgot what it's called. I think it's All something children or something, and it has the guy who was in Maxton Hall. I keep seeing it on TikTok, so I really want to watch that. So like this is like my time to like eat good food, watch my shows, read books. And I don't think a lot of people understand why, like, understand me, but like a lot of people are like, oh, we can hang out and do this. I'm like, no, like hanging out takes energy.
Yeah.
I rather just like, if I can just have a quiet day where make myself a good breakfast and have a coffee drink and just like read, that's an amazing day to me. I like that'd be my best day ever. I love hanging out with people. Don't get me wrong. I do. I'm not antisocial. I promise. I just really, I guess, here's the thing. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and read. I mean, I read every day, but I don't get to sit down to read like hours on end because I'm always exhausted from work. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to finally get a chance to actually be able to sleep in and read and relax and just,
No,
it's
I
gonna be,
get that. Like
it's gonna be
we're
nice.
we're getting all this stuff together because you got your birthday week off, so we were trying to set ourselves up to where
Mm,
you could have your birthday week off from everything, and then
mm.
I'm leaving and going to see family and stuff, and I'm like low key super excited, to just like read whatever I want, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah.
just to like not that like we picked the books out for the podcast,
Yeah. Of course.
and but because we picked them out and we've like committed ourselves to them, it almost feels like kind of like a job. Like I have so much time to get this book completed, and I have to get notes done, and I have to do XYZ, and I'm trying to make mental notes as I'm reading of like what do I want to talk about and everything. And so it kind of like it uses a lot of brain power versus just reading and just enjoying the story. Not that I don't like, I like doing this. Obviously we wouldn't have done this podcast for like 2.5 years now if we didn't enjoy doing this. But there's a level of like sigh of relief when you could just kind of enjoy the story without having to like make mental notes of details the whole time that you're
Yeah.
reading.
Exactly. Exactly. And also the notes, sometimes writing notes definitely it's not the funnest, especially when you forgot to write them and it's like midnight. You have to work the next day at 6. But
Ugh.
but that's besides the point. I'm not tired or anything. That's not me. That's not
Right.
me. But I guess what, let's talk about the book that we're gonna be discussing this week. So
Okay.
this week we're going to be discussing a novel that I've been wanting to read, which is called Belladonna by Adalyn Grace. This novel is something that I used to see on TikTok constantly, and I will fully admit, Sam, I think you bought it first, and I saw you buy it, and I was like, ooh, that cover's gorgeous.
It's
And
so
then
pretty.
and then I saw the under the cover, like I saw the hardback, like without the naked being naked, a naked book, okay? And I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. So of course I had to low key go and buy it too. And I didn't really know what this novel is about. I guess I kind of did, but I didn't really know. But if you don't know, like how I didn't know what this novel is about, let me just quickly explain. This novel follows Signa, a 19-year-old orphan who has been raised by a handful of guardians, all were more invested in her inheritance than her own well-being, and each meeting their own demise. After another guardian dies, she's sent to live with her remaining relatives, the Hawthornes, who lives at Thorn Grove, an estate that is both gloomy and glittery. But there's more to the Hawthorne family than meets the eye. The family is grieving the loss of their mother. While the father is constantly throwing large parties, their son is trying to keep their family name from ruin, and the daughter is sick with the same illness that took the mother. When their mother's restless spirit appears claiming that she was poisoned, Signa realizes that the family she depends on could be in danger. So she enlists the help of a stable boy to hunt down the killer. However, Signa's best chance of uncovering the murderer is an alliance with Death himself, a dangerous shadow that has been never been far away from her side. Though he has made her life hell, Death shows Signa that their growing connection may be even more powerful than she ever imagined. Okay, Sam, I
Okay.
like, can I just say
Yeah.
firstly,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that this novel was going to be based in the Victorian era.
Okay.
I don't know why, but for some reason or another, I just like assumed that this book was going to be, I don't know, modern times, but this book feels like Bridgerton maybe meets Dead Boy Detective Agency thrown together, and
Hmm.
I am kicking myself for not reading it sooner because I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy the storyline. I also was shocked. Like, I was scandalized by how spicy, but not really spicy, some of the scenes were in the book.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
were very tame for some of the stuff we've read.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but I was like, this is YA. But like, I guess, I mean, but listen, I think this girl does a great job at writing. I don't want to say lust, yearning. She does a really good job at
Yeah,
writing yearning. And I also really love the fact that this book has to do with like she's trying to solve a murder. But also on top of that, she's like questioning her like purity, and she's like, I can't get my purity away. I'm like, girl, stop. And I do think that this book is really well written. I think that sometimes when we read books that are over 400 pages, which, by the way, I'm sorry, I did not realize this book was that long, but sometimes books this long can drag. And I honestly feel like I had such a fun time reading it, and
Mhm.
that it didn't feel draggy to me. And plus, the plot twists in this book were amazing. And I think that I was honestly shocked by the multiple twists and turns because, and that says a lot considering the fact that we read a ton of books and usually I can figure out the ending, but not with this
Yeah.
book. This book, I was legit shocked. I was like, my mouth was wide open. I was like, what? But I don't know. I kind of wish that we did read this novel during the fall because this novel feels like the perfect book to read with a cup of hot cider and a warm donut. And by the way, can you tell that I'm sick of the heat? But I really loved this book, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
No, I was pleasantly surprised because this has been a book that like I bought during the like book talk and booktube hype of everyone being like, look how pretty this book is. And I was like, that book is so pretty. And then people started talking about her falling in love with death, but death knowing her as a baby. So like that kind of like prevented me from wanting to read it. Like it kind of gave me like that icky feeling. But
Yeah.
it's not as icky as you would think it would be. Like she
Mm-mm.
does a really good job of making it less like Bella and Edward from Twilight, and it's just creepy to like the you feel the connection between them, and I feel like the connection between her and Death is more than just like love and wanting. It's hard to explain, but their connection is like so much deeper than that, and that is really like interesting to see how well she wrote that and how well it jumps off the page of that they are way more connected than just like I like you and you're everything I've ever wanted. It's like it's deeper than that, and
Mm-hmm.
I like the discussion of that they have during this book about death and how death isn't scary, and just kind of like turning it on its head of what the Grim Reaper actually is. And I had a good time with it. The final twist in this book shocked me, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
once it was
Definitely.
kind of like when like you watch a mystery movie or something like that, and then they backtrack the
Mm-hmm.
movie and you get all the flashbacks of like all of the little hints they were showing you throughout the entire movie, and you're like, how did I not pick up on that? That's pretty much what happened. So and this book's been out for a little while now, so I'm not trying to spoil it, but at the same time, like it's been out for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
So
what did you rate this book?
4.5.
What was it?
4.5.
Oh, I thought you said 2.5. I was like,
No,
Sam,
four.
oh my
No,
goodness.
no,
How, like,
I bit my tongue while I was saying it.
okay, because I was gonna be like, Sam, are you trying to catfish me right now? You're like, I
Mm-mm.
really love this book, and then you're like, secretly, you're like, I hated this book.
Fuck
This is the
this book.
worst. You're like, this is the worst book I've ever read.
You know, well, low key, I have Foxglove on my shelf, and Wisteria comes out next month, so I'm probably gonna take Foxglove with me to Vermont and read it.
Ooh, so when I go book shopping, I put that on my list of books I
Good.
want to get because I
Yeah.
I do want to read the second one. Because second one, like how it ended, I was like, I need
No,
I need the
I
second
know. I
book.
was like, because I'm like, there's a whole other book. What are they gonna talk? Like everything's been like it was very nice and neatly like wrapped up with a little bow, and you're like, okay, how are we getting a second book out of this? And then that epilogue, I was like, damn.
Well, so I when I saw that there was a second, obviously I knew there was a second book, but I will be honest with you, Sam, I had to do everything in my willpower to not read the book, to not get the book as like a ebook and read it because I'm like, no, my luck, I'm gonna get things mixed up and be like, yeah, that happened. You're gonna be like, Morgan, that never happened. Like,
Yeah, we're too far ahead. Too
oh,
far
I can't,
ahead.
I can't. So I literally, really, really, really try my hardest not to read ahead because I'd be all like, mixed up. But
Yeah.
anyways, I guess you know what? Let's go into our spoiler section. So if you have not read Belladonna, which come on, girl, get to it because this book's been out forever. Don't be like me. Don't slack. Read this book. It's really good. Please, go read that book and then come back. If you don't want to be spoiled, you can also check out last week's episode in which we talked about reading slums, which was a really, really fun episode. We talked about like things you can do to get out of a reading slum. It was a super fun episode. But if you've already read Belladonna or don't care to be spoiled, then enjoy our spoiler section. So, Sam, what would you like to talk about first?
I don't even know. Okay,
Oh,
so
hmm,
super interesting that like Percy was the one
yes.
who accidentally killed his like semi mom, but
Yeah.
like wasn't his mom. I was like shocked and flabbergasted, but
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, this checks out that the like nanny person was actually his mom,
Yeah.
and then and then Silas was death, and I was like, what is happening? I don't even know where to
Okay,
start with
listen,
this.
the whole Percy thing, I like, I really liked his character and I was like rooting for like because once again I really love this book which is called The Curse of the Spectral Queen by Jenny Eller Monk, and it
Mhm.
has it where it's like a brother and a sister and then a friend, and I know it's kind of different because they're cousins, but I was like, yay, like they're gonna work together for another crime and they're just gonna work together. And then Percy is like, yeah, I did it because I was trying to get rid of this woman who is my mom, who I don't want to be my mom because if everyone found out, I'd be ruined. Even though we all know that his parents would be like defend him to the core. His parents
Yeah.
would be like would not like let it go. But I like the fact that he's like, I accidentally poisoned my mom, so I guess I'm gonna keep on poisoning her. And then he's like, well, I'm jealous of my daddy's attention, so I'm gonna poison my sister.
That
What?
kid's got some. I mean, I get mommy and daddy issues, but geez, some crow. Because he's just like, well, I mean, there was no cure, and I already did it, so I might as well just keep going. And I was like, what?
Right? And what kills me is the fact that like his family loves him so much and like that they would do anything for him. And honestly, you know what he could have done? Do you know what he could have done?
Mm.
After she comes up with an antidote, he could have been like, okay, I'm gonna stop poisoning her. But he kept on doing it. He kept
Yeah,
on
and then
doing
he
it,
poisoned
Sam.
himself, so that way the antidote was like because she had two dosages of it. So he poisons himself, so she has to use the antidote on him, so that way there's no more antidote. And I was like, boy, you've got some issues.
Right? And I get it why he did it because I think he maybe thought that his sister would be given the business. Actually, no, this is like the 1800s. Women don't have rights. What am I
Mm-mm.
saying? Okay. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why he poisoned his sister, but he just did. And I felt so bad for her because, like, obviously she was very sick for a long time. And Percy's like, I'm here to be a good, uh, brother. But instead, nope, not a good brother whatsoever.
Yeah,
Um,
and he was trying to stop her from getting the antidote too, because he was like, "Well, what is everybody going to think of if we go to the apothecary? They're all going to talk about us." And I was just like,
yeah.
"Boy, you just don't want her to save her."
You're like, boy. Well, I thought it was just that he's embarrassed. He's like, I don't
Well,
want
yeah,
any.
but like when you think about it in retrospect, it's
Yeah, it's
like
true.
he was trying to like save face and be like, this is gonna go against high society, which is like everything that Signa's ever wanted was to
Yeah,
be in high society. So
yeah,
he was kind of using her like motivation of wanting to be a part of this like group to try and prevent her from saving his sister so he could continue doing what he was doing, and then she would just be rest in peace with his I guess pseudo
yeah,
mom, which
yeah,
I'm just like, what is going on, man?
yeah. Well, the thing that gets me though is the fact that like I really thought that him and Charlotte were gonna be together.
Yeah.
I was really hoping like because like I really liked Charlotte and I really hope that Charlotte has a good ending and what next book or whatever happens because like I think that Charlotte her friend well Charlotte if you don't know is her friend that she was friends with and then her uncle slept with Charlotte's mom and which caused ruin for her family So Charlotte sees Signa and is like, "Oh, great, you're gonna bring up like all this stuff again." Signa's like, "No, I just want to be your friend." And Charlotte is like, "I don't trust you."
Mhm.
But like I can see them kind of warming up to each other, which I really, really liked. But I really thought that her and Percy had something going on, which obviously that didn't happen. But she did kind of tell Percy where the poisonous stuff was because in the book she's like, "Oh yeah, be careful of this because I grew up like across the street from the Hawthornes. I already told them what poisonous stuff is." And I'm like, "Oh, you're the Google here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told them
You the
everything."
Google. Oh my god, can we talk about the ghosty too, who was actually legit Google, and he was Thaddeus?
Okay, I listen. I hope I'm a Thaddeus when I die.
I was like, why is that Morgan? I legitimately was like, why is that Morgan? The reason why his soul would not leave Earth was because there was too many books left to read.
Listen, your TBR grows even after you die.
He's
Okay.
like, I thought I read all the books, but they just keep bringing more.
Listen, I would be in love. I'd be like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That would totally be me. Although it broke my heart though how he tried to possess Signa. That
Yeah, but
like
he was mad. Like, I mean, his favorite thing in the entire world was burning in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it.
yeah.
Literally, he was just there to read books. Like, that was his only thing. Like, and honestly, he wasn't even like that big of like. Obviously, he was the one who showed Signa
Mhm.
where to find the antidote and stuff.
Mhm.
And I just love that he was like, "It's a good read. It's a little dry, but it's somewhere around the 100th page."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Why is that us? Why is that
Yes.
us?" But like,
Yes.
I feel like in like that really short period of time, I connected with him so dang hard. I was like, "You
Yes.
are like my favorite ghost," and I hope he's
Listen,
back later on.
I hope so too, because we'd be Thaddeus, and like if we
For
died,
real.
we'd be haunting libraries, be like, "Where's the next good book? Come show me." Talking about ghosties, let's talk about Death and Signa. I called it from the beginning. Same, I think I texted you. I was like, "Is it weird that I'm shipping Death and Signa together?" And you were like, "What did you say?" You're like, "Well, if people ship blue aliens together with humans, I think you're fine." I was like, "Okay, phew," because I was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just shipping them really hard together. Like, I don't know why. I think they're really cute." And I don't know. I just think that it's really funny that she was like, "I hate you," and he's like, "Oh, I like you. I'm gonna protect you. Do whatever I can to protect you." And then the whole thing that got me, Sam, was you thought there was gonna be a love triangle. That there was a love
Yeah,
triangle. There was no love triangle. I don't even know what you call this. A circle? Is this a circle? I just because Death pretended to be what's his name?
Silas.
Silas. And you're like, you think Silas the whole time is the bad person. You're like, Silas is the bad person, Silas is bad. And then Silas is like, I am Death. And you're like, what? My
And
mouth
I
dropped.
I liked that, like, in Death's explanation, he was like, "Well, you were afraid of me. And so I decided to take a form and still be by your side without you fearing me." And which
Mm,
makes sense, like, now throughout the entire book of her just, like, constantly feeling Death's presence.
mm.
But Death wasn't like anywhere to be seen. It was like he was sitting
Yeah.
right next to her the whole time. So I think, kind of creepy if it was written one way, but like
Yeah.
kind of sweet at the same time. Of like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to spend time with you, but you were afraid of me, so I made it so you weren't afraid of me, so I could get to know you better. But and
Yeah.
like I said earlier in the podcast, like they had this like connection with each other that just like jumped off the page, and you were just like,
Yeah. I had really
you
good
didn't care about
chemistry.
anybody else. I like Lord, whatever his name is, the Everett.
Mhm.
Who's he? Forget him. Like Death.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
love Death.
Yeah, exactly. And like I do want to talk about what you brought up before about grooming because like when I was looking at reviews for this book, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is so creepy because Death is old and he met Signa at a young age when she was a baby." And like people are like, "This is grooming." I listen, I think that's a tough thing to talk about. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of disagree because
I
it
do
seems
too.
like in the book, Death, yes, Death was there. She could see Death. But it seems to me that Death and Signa only started talking until Signa was 19. Like they didn't talk
Yeah.
until she was older. And on top of that, she would see him because he's Death. And also like how can you compare like I'm saying Death is kind of like a god because like, He's death. How could you
Yeah.
compare him to a human? You
Yeah,
can't.
you can't really compare him. And the good, I think I like too the detail that like eventually she's gonna be a Reaper too when she passes on. Like that's her like next
Mm,
step because she has those powers and stuff.
mm,
But I really don't feel like Death was just always kind of there. He was never like showing up for the sake of Signa. He was showing up when death occurred. Like if that
yeah.
makes it like the souls are being taken away. And as she kind of learned that she could see him when she brought herself, she was the one who kept bringing him back to
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
And he was worried and confused about their connection as well because it didn't make any sense.
Mm,
And like you said, like it wasn't until she was about 19 and she accidentally killed her aunt
yeah.
was when they actually started talking to each other and connecting with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I think that people
and when
like,
Silas finally showed up.
yep. I just think that people sometimes like it's just a book, and yes, I understand that's your point of view. I mean, I get where people are coming from, but I like Death and I like him and I like the relationship and I think it's cute and I like their chemistry. But the one thing I did not like, Sam, was why didn't we not know anything that happened about the parents? Okay? We find out, or obviously we read in the beginning of the book, that everyone in her house dies. Like her whole family dies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was poisoned, and I'm assuming they were poisoned by Belladonna. But we don't know who did it. Okay. And not
Yeah.
once does Signa talk about how she's trying to figure out what happened to her family. What do you think's gonna happen? Like do you have
I
a
feel like I really hope in Foxglove because what's his face, the Duke ends up dying,
Mhm.
that maybe we get to revisit that part
Yeah.
because she said it was poison, but it wasn't necessarily Belladonna. So it might not have been Belladonna that killed her. Did they say it explicitly was Belladonna that killed everybody?
No, they didn't, but I'm assuming it
So
was.
so maybe it was whatever poison just killed the Duke, and we'll end up like recirculating back to that initial scene in this
Yeah.
next book because there's three books. It's the trilogy,
Okay.
and Wisteria comes out at the end of next month too, and that cover is beautiful too. Like this whole,
Yeah.
I mean, whoever is in the like marketing for the series did an amazing job with getting these covers put together because they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they did. They're
Um,
beautiful.
but I feel like we might be I hope we circle back
Yeah,
because,
me too.
and I'm really interested about Fate now. Like,
Mhm.
how is he going to play into this? And is there going to be a love triangle? I hope not.
I hope not.
Her and Death are very well connected. But I'm very interested about Fate and like how Fate is going to play into all of this too. So I'm ready to read the next one.
Me too. And I absolutely loved how this book ended where he's like, you got another murder to solve. And I'm like, ah, like, I was like, oh my God, give me the second book now, please, please. But,
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I was like, seriously, I'm so excited to finish, like recording this episode. That way I can get the second book and read it. Unless we're
Hmm.
going to do it for a podcast episode. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I don't have anything else I want to talk about. Do you have anything else you would like to add, Sam?
No, I'm very glad you picked this book. It's definitely been
Hmm.
one that's also been sitting on my
Yep.
TBR for a very long time, and it was also sitting on my on my like side table because I'd started and then I wouldn't like continue on to it. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that this gave me the push to
Hmm.
finish this book because now I know what everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, now you understand why it's so popular, why it's
Yeah.
popping off. Anyways, so next week, if you guys are curious, we're going to be doing our mid year wrap up, which is so crazy to me that it's like, halfway through the year. Absolutely crazy. And if you guys like to support us, our podcast, please remember to rate us on Spotify as it does help push our podcast out there. Also, remember check out anywhere else you can find a podcast. We'll be there, and you can check out our YouTube channel. It's called Just More Page, and Sam will tell you about the rest of our socials.
So if you think we are absolutely hilarious, which fun fact, my friends, we are, and if you want to watch us go into this like deep spiral about whether or not we're buying Kindles, because I don't know what's been going on with us, we do have a TikTok. It is Just More Page Podcast.
Don't call
And
me out,
for
Sam.
listen, I watch the TikTok I just posted.
Oh gosh, okay.
And if for all the random things we decided to post, I forgot my spiel. We do have an Instagram. It is Just One More Page official. So go ahead and slide into our DMs. Come talk to us. Come follow us. We love talking to you all. We hope you have a fabulous Sunday. Morgan, happy birthday. I
Thank
love you.
you.
And we will talk to you all soon. All
Okay,
right. Bye.
bye.